This is really the magic of Minot. This expansion is epitomizes what a great community this is, and all of you turning out, and for the role that all of you play in making it happen. It's so important. Steve Shirley, Minot State University. I mean, there are just so many aspects to this community that all come together and make really great things happen, and that's what this is all about. And so to Murad and his whole team, we really appreciate you being here, and we never take it for granted, right? I mean, we never take this type of business expansion for granted and what it means to our communities. When you look at it, we're talking, I think, $25 million, $30 million expansion, something like 33,000 square feet added on to this already great facility, adding on the order of 20 more people that will work here, getting up to something like a workforce of 100 people. So in and of itself, all of those things are fantastic. I mean, that is an example of the kind of small business that builds a community. And small business is the backbone of our national economy. It's the backbone of our economy here in the Magic City. It's the backbone of our economy in North Dakota. And we have to do everything we can to continue to make it go, to make it grow and expand. And so this expansion, Murad, I know you operate in many countries around the world, and you could do this expansion in a lot of other places, but you chose to do it here. And we can never take that for granted, and we always want you to know how much we appreciate it. And now, particularly when you look at what's going on for our farmers and for our ranchers, this is a tough time in the ag world, right? Because of low commodity prices. We see that with energy, but we certainly see it in farming and ranching. And North Dakota is number one when it comes to farming and ranching, just like we're number one leading in energy as well. But with low commodity prices, it's tough. This kind of expansion, this kind of value added makes a big difference because it's another market for our farmers. They can grow pulse crops, and I think we're now the number one state in terms of growing pulse crops, peas, beans, and lentils, and you're sampling some of that. I think we're number one in the country now in pulse crops. And now they've got this facility buying their product close to home. That reduces transportation costs. That gives them another market. That gives them more revenue at a time when they're working really hard to stay in business because of low commodity prices. And so we have to recognize that it all fits together and that this expansion is important for all of those reasons. So to all of you that are here and to some legislators that are here, I want to welcome them as well. Randy Burkhardt, I know you guys just finished up your special session. To Ole Larson, I think Andy Maragos, and I'm probably missing some. But to you legislators, thank you for working to create that good business climate. This stuff doesn't just happen. We make it happen.
Thank you, Mary Barney, AGT, and MADC for the invitation to be here on behalf of Senator Heitkamp today. What a great reason to be here celebrating today. $30 million expansion in any industry is an amazing feat. To see this happen in agriculture, an industry so important to North Dakota's economy, makes it that much more exciting. Agriculture makes up about 25% of North Dakota's economic base, and about the same percentage of people are engaged in an agricultural workforce. Even with this strong economic base, farmers still take on lots of risk. Millions are invested in growing season, and they must rely on factors beyond their control to determine their success. A weather event might have minimal risk on your job or mine. With this uncertainty, however, it could mean devastating losses to them. With that kind of uncertainty, it's great to see that a company like AGT is investing in Minot, North Dakota. An investment like this shows that today's agriculture economy in North Dakota is growing and is very strong. I'm sure Senator Heitkamp would have loved to be here herself to tell you all of this. However, she did have a scheduling conflict this morning. She did send some additional remarks for you, and I'd like to read them for you today. Dear friends, I wish I could be with you in person today to celebrate this impressive expansion of AGT Foods USA facility. Not only will the addition double the process lines and create up to 20 new jobs, but it will also employ innovative technologies that will create a variety of opportunities for pulse crops. What a great partner AGT is for North Dakota farmers who grow more than 1/2 of the peas, beans, lentils, and chickpeas that are processed here. It is amazing to think that crops grown in nearby fields are turned into flour, proteins, starches, fibers, and exported around the world. The facility we'll celebrate here today is an outgrowth of the remarkable achievements we have seen in agriculture production and exemplifies North Dakota's value-added vision. That vision is very important with AGT Foods' mission statement, which says, in part, to provide clean and quality product with reliable and timely shipments, competitive pricing, and flexible delivery arrangements. Without question, North Dakota farmers are helping feed the world, but they couldn't do it without great partners like AGT, who ship its products to more than 100 countries in Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas. Again, congratulations to all those who have worked so hard to make today's event possible. Sincerely, your friend, U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp. Thank you.
Well, Congressman Kramer wishes he could be here today, but I appreciate so much the opportunity to be here on his behalf and share the letter. Dear friends, I wish I could join you today at the AGT Foods Expansion Celebration Open House and Ribbon Cutting. Events like these are a true testament to the growing and successful agriculture industry in North Dakota. We are privileged to have businesses like AGT Foods in our state and the Minot community, who promote the growth of our producers and provide quality products to our customers. As one of the world's largest suppliers of value-added pulses, staple foods, and food ingredients, AGT Foods placed themselves in one of the best pulse-growing regions and have purchased lentils, peas, beans, chickpeas from producers around the communities they serve. AGT Foods commissioned its first large-scale pulse ingredient facility here in Minot, focused on production of flours, proteins, starches, and fibers derived from the pulses for use in food ingredients and branded feed products, including pet food. This $30 million expansion is evidence to their dedication and confidence in our great state. This new expansion will help AGT Foods maintain their mission of providing clean and quality products with reliable and timely shipments, competitive pricing, and flexible delivery arrangements. Their commitment to quality is ensured through comprehensive production, execution, and quality control. North Dakota producers and customers alike have benefited from your presence in our great state, and I look forward to seeing the growth and continued success of AGT Foods in the years to come. Sincerely, Kevin Kramer, Member of Congress.
You know, this is great for some of us that are an old plant manager. We love to see really what goes on inside the walls and things like that. So that's one part that's really fun for me. The second part is that, you know, Commerce's whole role is to try and increase the wealth of North Dakotans. So how do we do that? Well, we've got numerous programs where we try to incentivize, we try to get companies to come to the state. And, you know, if I was to identify one that is the perfect fit for North Dakota, it would be AGT. I mean, it's one of those, they've used some of our value-adding agricultural programs. By the way, we've had value-added ag programs for 39 years, but I can't think of a better company to be an example for that than AGT, because they started out in 2007 out in Williston, used a few of our programs, some of the Bank of North Dakota's. Then they came over to Minot, used a couple of more. They're expanding again. And Murad, I kind of hope that you continue that trend of continuing to expand. And we look very, very much forward to trying to find programs that help a company like them help the rest of the state and help all of us. So we'll work closely with the local economic developers. They've been so successful. Just to give you a little idea, is North Dakota's overall worldwide exports have increased 500% since 2000. Of course, one of the key players on that is AGT.
They're no longer a small company. They're truly a worldwide company, and one that's a great partner for the state. We want to congratulate them, thank them for the investment here in Minot, and look forward to working with them in the future for many continued investments in the future. Thank you, Murad.
With over 40 different facilities around the world, I want to thank Murad for choosing Minot to do this expansion. I'd also like to thank Murad and Eric and Les and the rest of AGT's dedicated team for investing in our community and continuing to partner with MADC. Minot is very lucky to have AGT as our anchor at the port here, and I hope this is just one of many ceremonies for future expansions. Thank you.
Our next speaker is truly the man of the hour and our very special guest. I met Murad a long time ago. So we've known each other, we've gotten to know each other even better over the last few years, and it's truly a remarkable story. It's a remarkable business story. It's one that we've had Murad come and speak to our students at Minot State University, because it's just so unique and it's so energetic, and what a success story. And the community is thrilled to have what we consider to be the jewel of his empire right here in Minot. And we're very thankful for the expansion, and we hope there's more. We're going to try to help you if you're so inclined. So please welcome Murad Al-Katib.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Jewel of the Empire. I like that one. So we're gonna keep that one around, I think. So, Senator, always great to see you. I like to take an opportunity to thank all of our distinguished guests for joining us and taking the time out of a very busy schedule to spend some time with us. Before I get going, I just wanted to recognize a few special people. It's interesting, as Mayor mentioned, we have around, I think, 42 facilities in 5 continents around the world. But the first opening or ribbon cutting that my family has actually attended with me is here in Minot. So my wife Michelle and my son Tarek and Sarah, my twins Tarek and Sarah, are with us here today as well. So if I could get them just to stand up, because I got to tell you, when I look at what I do in a day and in a year, I spend about 220 days a year outside of Canada. So from that perspective, they're the ones that sacrifice every day. So thank you, Michelle and Sarah and Tarek, for what you guys do for me. Also, I just wanted to acknowledge a couple of others, Eric Barch and Les Knutson, and our team here in Minot. So they're all very interesting. If I look at the row of people here, I've got Debbie as well, and Eric and Les. They're all people who've been with me since the very beginning in North Dakota. And if you think about the growth of our company, we came to North Dakota in 2007. At the time, we were around $35 or $40 million in total revenue as a company. And the Williston, North Dakota facility was I think the 4th facility that we had in the world. And Eric and Les and Debbie and our team started there, and then we expanded into Minot in 2011 with the vision of building, a truly value-added processing plant here for pulse crops. And when I look at the world and what's happening with the world today, driving down from Regina to Minot, I was reflecting as we were driving down the road and looking at the fields and starting to see our farmers getting ready to embark on harvest period. And every harvest period to me is the start of a new period of our lives, where we get to see the fruits of the efforts of the farmers who put in blood, sweat, and tears to get a crop in, and basically left it to Mother Nature on whether or not they're going to succeed or not. And we've had some challenging times around Minot area in terms of the crops over the last number of years with excessive rains and those types of things. And when I look every year at harvest, it's a sense of optimism, a sense of renewal, and a sense of looking forward to the future. And to me, that's what today is all about, is a vision and a dream that we had. When I embarked on this adventure in 2003, I always tell the story that I did what every responsible husband does. Michelle was 6 months pregnant with the twins. I quit my job, moved to the basement of my house, took a blank sheet of paper, and wrote a business plan on how to take what I would consider to be an agricultural transformation that was going on in the northern tier states and in Western Canada, where farmers were going to go from a cereal oilseed summer fallow rotation to a cereal oilseed pulse legume rotation. And that opportunity to build value-added processing facilities, in step one of creating a supply chain to provide a market outlet for farmers, that were again taking that risk and putting that crop in the ground without knowing if there was truly indeed a market for those products. That's what drove us into starting this company and to doing what we did. And we're proud to say today that that startup in 2003, and when we came to North Dakota around 40 million in revenue. In 2015, we ended up with 42 processing facilities, 1.7 billion in revenue, and we're exporting actively to 121 countries around the world, including helping to drive that agricultural transformation that North Dakota has been the big driver in the United States. So we're proud to be a part of that agricultural transformation and a revolution that we're seeing in food in the world. And when I look at the profile of the products that we're talking about here, and you're going to have an opportunity, if you haven't yet, to taste things like a pasta salad made from a pasta that is actually 50% made from a legume flour blend mixed along with durum wheat that's from North Dakota. And so from that perspective, you'll eat that. You'll eat a North Dakota favorite. I got to tell you, Senator, I never knew what a scotcheroo was until I came to North Dakota, I can tell you that. But I mean, anybody who doesn't know needs to know what a scotcheroo is, right? So you're going to taste a scotcheroo made with faba bean crisps. And the faba bean crisps that we're producing are 8 grams of protein compared to a Rice Krispie at 0.5% protein. So what we're talking about here is the global race to protein. And the global race to protein and the undeniability of the opportunity, where when we look at Asia and we look at by 2050 the need to feed 30% more population in the world with 70% more food. The FAO published recently, Senator, that we need to produce in the next 50 years as much food as we produced in the world in the last 10,000 years in order to feed the growing population of the world. The opportunity exists for the state of North Dakota and for the area of Minot and the whole state to become one of the main stops on the global protein highway. And that's what we're proud to be here doing, is providing an investment here in Minot to truly do something very unique. So, I do want to, talk about, the vision that we had to partner with our local producers to produce, for the first time in this state, protein concentrates, starch concentrates, and fiber concentrates, and flours of all granulations that are going to international food companies all over the globe. So if I told you today that vermicelli noodles produced in China were being produced from North Dakota made flours that are being shipped into China today, it would surprise you. Or when you get an opportunity to go over to the food line and have a sun chip made from Pepsi Frito-Lay, and the number one ingredient on that product is whole yellow peas made in this factory. It's something that we're very proud to be a part of. So, as kind of a closing comment, I want to say thank you to the people in Minot. I want to thank our workforce here who are incredibly dedicated. And I want to thank Kurt, if I didn't take an opportunity to also acknowledge you as our former mayor and a person who believed in us at the very beginning and put a lot of political capital yourself into believing in us and supporting the infrastructure that we felt we required here. I would be remiss not to take that opportunity. So Kurt and Chuck, from the current leadership, I certainly thank all of you from the Minot Area Development Corporation, from the Mayor and Council, and Senator Hoeven. I got to tell you, I'll never forget the first time I met you in 2006, and I walked away from that meeting. We were a small little company, and I walked away to my partners and I said, you know what? I got confidence that this state is on the right track. And when we had that confidence, that's where we made those first investments. So I want to thank you for your leadership. I want to thank the leadership of our congressional and senator delegations, and I want to tell you that what we've done so far, we're just getting started. We're certainly not done. And you know, what I'm actually proud to say is we just commissioned the expansion here, and we are just announcing today that we will add a 4th processing line here in Minot. And so the PO went in last week, and so that 4th processing line will be installed. I think Les told me very last days of this year and the first days of the new year. So we should be done by January of 2017 installing processing line number 4, and also a new fiber granulation and sterilization line, bringing really to our total about 5 production lines in this facility. So we're happy to be here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please take time to sample some of the products and enjoy the company. And I want to thank everybody for making us feel welcome and be a part of this community. Thank you.
I just have a few closing comments, and then I want to give a little presentation. I want to thank Randy Houck with Verendry for sponsoring this event. Verendry has always been a great partner in this community in supporting the economic development efforts of the community. This is located in the Ag Park, and AGT is our anchor. And we're very grateful for that, because I can't think of a better anchor for our Ag Park and our value-added ag processing thrust at MADC. We have a presentation here that I want to ask Steve Bigelow to come up, and Murad. Steve, you want to present that?
On behalf of MADC.
Got to make sure we don't drop it again.
Yeah. You're on your own this time.
Wow, that is beautiful. Thank you very much.
And in addition to that, on a more personal note, I want to give Murad one of the mayor's coins. It's a tradition started by Kurt when he was mayor, and he had them made because when we meet with generals at the Air Force, they swap coins, and I want to give Murad one of my coins.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very, very nice. Thank you.
That concludes our event. Stay and enjoy the products. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for supporting MADC in Minot.